Hey guys, Lori here. I'm here today to do another reading vlog. I just want to tell you guys why I have been doing so many reading vlogs because I'm home. I'm normally not home this much, and my reading vlogs normally take between 2 to 3 weeks to film. And I normally do like a lot of weekend reading vlogs because I'm just home a lot. But because I'm really not going anywhere or doing anything because of everything that's going on, I just have a lot of time, and I know eventually I'm not gonna have as much time, so I'm just trying to give you guys as much content as I can. And plus, it's a good way to like remember what life was like. So hopefully in the future we can kind of look back and say like, oh, like I love going back and watching my old reading vlogs just to see like what was going on in my life. So I've been focusing this month on reading YA contemporaries. But I'm gonna take a break this week, and read non YA contemporaries. So I just want to say that this next week is also a little bit of a weird week because I have a couple of PD days, which means I'm not physically teaching. And it's also getting to the end of the year, so I'm excited to see what the next with what the summer is gonna look like and what next year looks like. This is normally when I start planning for like my trip, so yeah. But tomorrow I have a yoga class, and hopefully it's gonna be a nice day because I love staying outside when it's beautiful out. But the book I'm gonna start reading for this reading vlog, sorry, I took the cover off, is Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. This was the Owl Crate book, I think, for the month of January. I think this was the one for January. And yeah, I know it was pitched to me as Count Monte Cristo in space, but I don't know if the space element is actually right. I know it does have to do with revenge. I know that there's I know it has to do. I don't even know what it has to do with, but I know that it has to do with revenge. I know that there's two characters. Tara Sim also wrote another book series as well. So I'm going to read about 50 pages. I'm not even reading the summary because whenever I read summaries, I get so spoiled and I just don't like it. So I'm going to go read about 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys an update and let you guys know my thoughts. I don't know what I'm going to read this week other than I'm going to try to stay away from YA contemporaries and kind of read some more of my fantasy, because I have a bunch on my TBR and some sequels that I haven't read yet. And then the next week I'll probably go back to reading my contemporaries. So I'm gonna go start reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about 50%. I also, because it's summer and I know I'm gonna be planning a lot, I'm trying to find some new vlogger families to watch, and I'm just watching one just because it's nice background noise. And then tomorrow I'm probably going to watch all of my CW shows. But yeah, so I'm gonna go do that, and I'll update you guys when I get about 50 pages in. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm just checking back in. It is Sunday, June 7th. I do have to do a little bit of like errandy stuff to prep my blog and my Instagram and stuff for this week, so I'm gonna kind of do that. I did go for a bike ride. I did listen to a couple at like 45 minutes of my pressed audiobook, which I'm really enjoying. I think I'm gonna put it on as background noise while I'm doing my errandy stuff. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm either gonna read outside, but it is a little bit windy, so kind of going with that. I also have to figure out if I'm filming today or if I'm going to film next week. I can't remember how many videos I have prepped. Yeah, I think I have to film next weekend. So I'll probably do that next weekend, but I do want to definitely get some reading in today as well. I also did finish watching Pitch, and it was only 10 episodes because they got canceled like unexpectedly, and that was like one of the worst cliffhangers I've ever watched. And I'm so bummed because I like want to know what happens, and there's no more episodes. I watched that through the Rewatchable podcast. I'm also rewatching I'm watching for the first time Avatar: The Last Airbender with them. So I got to watch a couple of those episodes. But Pitch was hard. Pitch was rough. I think I'm gonna talk about that more in my what I've been loving lately. I'll do that. I'll probably film that one next week because I have a few things I still like haven't watched yet that I wanted to include in that video, so I think I'll probably film that next weekend. But I'm gonna go do a few more like little like errandy things. I have to film a couple of things and stuff like that. But I'll probably do, when I'm done with that and I kind of know what I'm gonna do, I'll probably check back in when I start reading Scavenge the Stars again, which I really am liking. It's definitely like a slower, it's also like the first fantasy book I've read in a bit. It's also very, very different, so I'm have to like adjust. But it's not set in space as I thought. I think it's set like in the sea. But for some reason I thought it was set in space, but it's not. It's just set in the sea. So but it does have some LGBTQ representation, which I am enjoying. So that's my plan of attack. I'm going to go finish my errands, well, virtual errands, and then I'm gonna probably go read. Maybe outside. We'll see if the weather increases. I also deleted all of my footage for my Black Lives Matter TBR that I was filming. And I deleted all of the footage, so I have to refilm that as well, which I will definitely do. I just don't know when I'm gonna do that. But I will refilm that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go do my errands, and I'll check back in when I'm done with all my errands. Bye, guys. Larry here, just checking back in. I did wind up doing my errands. I'm gonna actually go sit outside for a little bit because it's like I've been staring at a computer for like a good hour. But I do want to make some progress on Scavenge the Stars. I keep on saying it's Scavenge are the Stars. That's not the title of the book, but I keep saying that. So I only got to chapter 3 yesterday, which is pretty good because I did read a lot yesterday. So I'm gonna go try to read this, and I will check back in when I make a little bit of progress. I just started it. I know that it's set at sea. I know that there's 2 main point of views. I don't know the story of Count Monte Cristo, so I don't know like what the retelling will be, but I know it's a gender swapped version of that, and it has to do with the sea. So I'm gonna check in when I make a little bit more reading progress, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Here, sorry, I keep changing my background because it's a pretty day out, and I try to use all my days outside when I can because when it gets cold in New York, it gets super cold. So I am reading outside. I did get up to page 60 in Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. I really am liking this book. It's definitely a slower paced story. It does involve like water. There's one point of view of a character named, well, she's technically called like something else, but she's a young girl that was in servitude on a ship. But her servitude is like ending, so she wound up saving someone from an ocean that she wasn't really supposed to save. And then the other point of view is a prince that's on land, and his sister is getting really, really sick from an illness that is like sweeping his town, and they're kind of bankrupt, so he has to go to do some questionable decisions to get the medicine. And I'm sure their paths cross. I have not read Count of Monte Cristo, so I don't know what that story is, but this is like a retelling of that. But you know what? I will admit, I really like both point of views. I think there is a lot of LGBTQ elements kind of on both sides of the story, which I am liking. And I'm just going to keep reading. I'm also watching some videos as background noise, and it's actually nice that it's very, very windy, but it is nice, which is good. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I will update you guys when I probably get up to page like 100. Right now I am on page 60. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Here, I'm back. I am going to go for a bike ride because I need to like stop looking at a computer screen, and that's all that I've been doing for the past day, which happens. But I did get up to page 76 in Scavenge the Stars. I really am liking this book. I think that both point of views are super interesting, and I'm really compelled by both of them. I also think it's a very interesting world. There is a virus, I will say that, so it's a little bit like close to home. Like they are dealing with a virus, and it's very hard to find vaccines. And KO has to make some hard decisions to save his sister because his sister is now infected, and that literally happens in the first 20 pages. There's a lot of political stuff happening on KO's side, and then the other point of view is a young girl that was a slave, I'll say, like on a merchant ship that was owned by KO's father, and now she's supposed to be getting her freedom, but stuff happens. It sort of reminds me, the setting of the ship reminds me a little bit of the first Daughters of a Pirate King book and the Kill a Kingdom book, because they're very, very similar. They have a lot of like water elements, which I really liked in Trista Levisera's series. And the political stuff reminds me of just like political drama. So like if you were looking for a book that kind of combines both, I would say for it. I also like, and I always say this, I like that there is like little like, I would say they're like proverbs at the start of each chapter that kind of delves into the world a little bit, so you kind of learn more about this world. And I think that that's kind of like an interesting way to do it, because it's not a lot of like this, it tells you, it just kind of like expands the world a little bit. They do that, I think they did that in Aurora Rising, and I really like that. They did that in the Queen Poisoner series I read recently. They did that as well, and I kind of like the world building elements of that, because I think it like expands the world in like kind of a fun and creative way. But there also is a lot of representation in this book that I'm really liking. So I'm only on page 76, but I am going to take a break. I'm going to go for a bike ride and keep listening to the audiobook I'm in the middle of. It's a lot longer, so I'm gonna be here for a couple of weeks, and I do still want to read Chain of Gold this month as well. So, but I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and I'm gonna go for a bike ride, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here I'm back inside. I did wind up reading to page 100 in Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. Really liking this book. This book definitely went in a direction that I was not necessarily expecting, but I'm intrigued, like very intrigued. I really do like the setting. I really do like both characters' point of views. I like the concept of it. I'm always a big fan of like political themed novels. Like normally that's like one of my favorite type of fantasies, like political themed. But I also do like that it has like a water element, like pirates and creatures and stuff like that. That's also very, very fun to me. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to come back. I'm also in the middle of watching Supergirl. I have 2 more episodes left, which is my plan of attack. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'll update you guys when I read about to like 150. That's about halfway done with this, and let you guys know my thoughts. But I'm thoroughly liking it. I'm definitely going to pick up her other book. I think it's called Timekeeper is the first one in that series. I think I actually have it on my Kindle already. But I really am liking her style. I'm really liking the pace of it. And I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. Like, I really avoided reading like that, but I know that these 2 characters, their paths collide somehow, so I'm curious for that. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Right here, it's about 8:30, and I did want to finishing watching Supergirl. That is definitely the season finale, so I'm definitely curious to see what happens, like, next season. But yeah, I really, really liked it. I still have not started Stargirl, which will probably be a goal for this week. And then I need to figure out what shows I have neglected, because there's probably a few that I forgot, but I tried to catch up the best I could. But Stargirl's one I know I haven't finished watching, and there's like might be one other one that I didn't finish. So that's my plans. But I did make a little bit more reading progress on Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. I'm now on page 134. Really liking it. I'm liking the dynamics between the characters. I'm liking the sea elements, but the court politics elements. Yeah, I'm really, really liking it. I think the characters are very, very fun and very, very engaging. I don't know whose point of view I like better. I think that they're becoming a little bit more intertwined. And right now, like the book, there was one thing that was like a little bit confusing. Like they did like a time jump in the story, but it wasn't like super clear. So like that part was like, oh, like what, like where is this in the timeline? So that was like a little bit confusing. But other than that, we're still really enjoying it. So I'm gonna try to read for like another like hour, maybe like hour and a half, and then I'm probably gonna watch maybe some Netflix. But I do have to work tomorrow, so I'll probably update you guys in the morning and let you guys know like how much I wound up reading, if I wound up reading anything. But yeah, that's my plan of attack. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 8:45. I'm about to start teaching for the day, but I did want to come in and say that I did watch a couple of episodes of Avatar last night, The Last Airbender. I'm still on book 1, but I'm actually really, really liking that show, and I don't normally watch animated shows, but that show I'm like thoroughly enjoying, so I hope to like listen to my podcasts today so I could watch a few more episodes tonight. I did get up to page 150 in Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. I just read a little bit before work. It's definitely becoming more political, and the characters' journeys are kind of like intersecting a little bit more. There's definitely a lot of mysteries that are developing that I'm liking, and they do have a lot of like court politics, which I've said before I thoroughly like. I do like both characters. They both have something that they're working towards, like a goal. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to work, and I'll probably update you guys after work is done, let you guys know how much, if I was able to do any reading, which some days I'm able to, some days I'm not. It all kind of depends on the day. But yeah, so I'm gonna go do that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Laura here. I'm back. It is about 4:30. I did want to finish in work. I played a little bit of Animal Crossing. I went for a bike ride. I am going to go to a yoga class today because it's the one evening that they have a gentle class, which I like to take. So I am going to take that. I did get up to page 300 in Scavenge the Stars. The pacing is not as strong, and it's not as like compelling to read. But I do like the world. I do like the characters. I do like both point of views. I like the interaction between them. That's 61% done. So I'm going to watch... I think I'm going to watch Stargirl because I don't want to fall too far behind on that show. And I've heard some really, really good things about it. So I'm going to see if I'm going to watch Stargirl before I go to my yoga class. I will update you guys when I get up to page like 250 and let you guys know my thoughts. I do like it. I like the story. I like the characters. I love the political intrigue. The pacing is not as strong as I would want it to be to like capture me from moment one, but that's okay. But I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here, just checking back in. I did wind up doing a yoga class. I did wind up getting also up to page 250 and Scavenge the Stars. I have about like 80 pages left. I'm going to keep watching Stargirl. I really liked episode 1. Love Luke Wilson. Great that he's involved. Also, I think Joel McHale was in it, which is really, really exciting. I like him a lot too. But yeah, so I'm gonna go have a small snack, watch Stargirl, and read Scavenge the Stars. That's my plans. I'll check in with you guys if I'm able to get up to page 300, because at that point I think I'll be able to finish it. But yeah, that's the plan of attack. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here, just checking back in. It's almost 9 o'clock. I did wind up getting up to page 300 and Scavenge the Stars. I'll definitely finish this tomorrow, probably before I start work, because I only have like 20 pages left. Definitely is a little bit more interesting. I still think the pacing is not my favorite. I think and it's a very, very short book, but I just think the writing style and the pacing wasn't my favorite in this book. I really did like the characters. I do like the court intrigue. I'm excited to see how this book winds up. Then again, I know nothing about the Count of Monte Cristo, which is what this book is based on. So maybe I would have enjoyed it a little bit better if I knew what the retelling was, like to kind of pull stuff from it. But I do like the characters. I think that that's the strongest. There is a lot of like LGBTQ references to it. Like both characters, let's say, are probably bi, both of them. They both have elements of that to their character. I do like the elements of family on both sides. I do like the elements of found family. That's something I always look for in a YA novel. I do like it. I probably will definitely read book 2, and I will definitely check out more books by this author in the future. But I'm going to go finish watching Stargirl, and then I'm going to dive into Avatar, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Right here, I'm back. It is Tuesday, June 9th. Today was kind of a different day because it was like a PD day for teachers, so some teachers had a lot of other things to do, but I sort of didn't, so I kind of spent the whole day like scheduling all my posts for the end of the year. We have about 14 days left. And that is one of the things about online teaching that is sometimes hard, because you have to like schedule everything, and I teach like 13 classes overall, so it's just a lot of stuff to schedule. So I kind of took today to like schedule all those things so I wouldn't have to do that for the next 14 days, which is nice. I also went out of my house, and like went shopping. I went to Target, which I haven't been since before quarantine started. I bought a few books. I'll show them in my next book haul. I bought a DVD and some like snacks, which probably shouldn't have bought anyway. But I am happy to report I'm finishing Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. I actually wound up liking it. I didn't wind up loving it. I struggled a little bit with the pacing in it. There was a lot going on in this book. I did say this before. This book is based on the Count Monte Cristo story, and I have not ever heard of that story, so I think it probably lost the connection to that a little bit. But I did really like the characters. I thought the court intrigue stuff, it reminded me a little bit, the first part of the book, about like Daughter of a Pirate King with the sea elements. But the pacing I struggled with. But I did like the diverse world. I thought that there was a lot of characters. There was like some LGBTQ characters. So I really did like that. I thought that it was a very open in regards to sexuality, the sexuality of the characters, and I really enjoyed that. I also really like the court politics. I just struggle with the pacing a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Sorry, there's a dog barking in the background, but I'm outside and I can't tell him to be quiet because he's a dog. But I'm going to go for a bike ride, and when I come back, I'm probably going to figure out what I'm going to read. I'm also in the middle of listening to my Avatar podcast. I'm probably going to finish listening to that because I did actually just today buy the Legend of Korra DVD, so I can try to get through it a little bit quicker. But I'm going to go for a bike ride, come back, eat, and then I'll check in with you guys with what I decide to read. It's probably going to be a short story and then Red, White, and Royal Blue, but who knows, my mind might change. But I'll talk to you guys after I eat. Bye guys. Right here, just checking back in. I did wind up actually reading a story in Hungry Hearts, and it was the Rin Shupra. I think it was hers, yeah. and it's called Sugar and Spite. I did like the concept of this story, but I struggled a little bit because it was written from you do everything. And I've never felt super connected to those stories, but I found it interesting, and that kind of like put me off a little bit. But I was gonna read the other story and I started it, but I think I'm gonna wait. I did decide to kind of change my plans, and I am gonna read Five Dark Fates by Ken Blake because this is the last book in that little series, or the last, I think it's like 4 books, and it is a library book, so I hope to really make some progress on this. I did just go for a second bike ride. I am gonna play a little bit of Animal Crossing, and then I'm probably gonna dive into this. But yeah, I put this book off for a while just because I don't know why. But I took it out of the library, and I have one other library book that I have to read. So I think I might actually read these library books back to back, just because I think we're in phase 2, or we're going into phase 2 tomorrow. I think it's very, very confusing, like what opens when, but the closer we get to phase 3, more stuff starts opening. I'm in Long Island right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to read this and Layoverland this week. So when the library does go up, I can just return like all 6 of my books because I've literally had these for the entire quarantine. So yeah. So I think that's my plan. I'm going to play a little bit of Animal Crossing because I was literally outside all day. You can see my arms are getting so tan. I love being tan in the summer. I love it. But yeah, that's my plan of attack. But yeah, so I'm gonna start this after I play Animal Crossing. I also was able to finish watching. Oh, I didn't watch anything last night. I watched a little bit of Fuller House, but I was a little bit distracted. But I did watch 2 episodes of Stargirl, which I really, really liked. I found both the episodes really, really compelling. I definitely want to finish watching the ones that are currently out, and then I don't know what I'm gonna watch, to be honest with you. I have a couple of shows like I'm in the middle of, so that might be a plan of attack. But I'm gonna go play a little bit of Animal Crossing, and I'll check in with you guys when I start Five Dark Fates. But yeah, back to reading I go. Bye guys. I just wound up watching episode 3 or 4 of Stargirl. I'm really liking that show. I think it's a very different take on like a superhero show. Normally when you follow the DC shows, the characters are like a lot older. So this show kind of reminds me a lot more of like a Buffy or like something like that. And there was a moment that happened in the show that like so reminded me of the first season of Buffy. Like really reminded me of it. So I don't know. It's fun. I really enjoy it. I love Luke Wilson in it. I like all the other side characters. I think it's like a really fun show. It kind of reminds me of The Flash, but also like a lot funner and just like more high school based. But I'm really liking that. I also wound up did read about 40 pages of Five Dark Fates by Ken Blake. Again, this is a very, very long book series. I think this is the 4th or 5th book in it, but it's also very, very complicated. It's been about 6 months, I would say, since I read Two Dark Reigns. So it took me 50 pages to kind of like remember where we're at. So basically the book series is there's 3 triplets that are wound up being born, and then once they turn a certain age, they all have to vie for the throne. They have to like kill each other. So you have a poisoner queen, a naturalist queen, and a poisoner, naturalist, and a for like I think it's like someone that's like with like the elements. So those are like the 3 queens. And you have one that talks to animals. So those are like the 3 types of queens you have, and then you have these 3 queens, and they're all kind of competing. But now in the 4th book, everything has gone out the window, and they're all kind of competing to be queen, but also some of them are working together. I don't want to be too spoilery because it is a very complicated book series, but one that I thoroughly enjoy. I'm about 40 pages in. Really, really liking it. It took me about 50 pages to like kind of remember where I was. But I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to go watch a little bit of Live with Kelly and Ryan, which I do every single afternoon. And then I'm probably going to watch my YouTube videos and then figure out what I'm going to watch next, because I'm done with Stargirl for the moment. I have to wait for the weekend for another episode. So I will report back when I read a little bit more, but I am liking the dynamics between the characters. At the end of last book, something like really, really shocking happened, so we're kind of dealing with the aftermath of that, especially for Jules. And Jules is like one of my favorite characters, so Catherine's also, we have to talk about Catherine at the end of this, but I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna go keep reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Here I'm back. It's about 8:30. I did wind up reading to page like 82 in Five Dark Fates. This book, again, sorry, my light's like bad, but this book is very, very fast paced. It took me like a good like 50 pages, I think, to remember like who's who, because it's a very, very big cast of characters. Something I do like about this series, I think they did it in the other ones too, is they have like a cast of characters, which I think is like super helpful because there is a lot going on. Um, the one thing I like about this book is the first book, it was very much sisters competing. Then the other two books, kind of the dynamic shifted. Now the dynamics are kind of shifted again, and I'm liking that. Like, there's a lot of like plot lines going on. There's a lot of like things that are happening to these characters that I'm like liking. There's also was like something introduced that I wasn't necessarily expecting diversity wise, which I really, really liked. But yeah, I like that all the characters are kind of back together in like fewer locations. In the last couple books in the series, they were kind of in a bunch of different like towns and stuff, but there was like two major points of like contact in this book, which I'm liking. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably watch a few things. I'm probably gonna try to watch like 4 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender tonight. But yeah, I will check in with you guys tomorrow morning before I go to work, and if I wind up reading anything before work, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But I forgot this about her writing style. It's very, very fast paced. This is definitely a series I would recommend you read closer together than I did. But yeah, but I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for another update. Bye guys. It's Lori here. I'm back outside again trying to get some work done. But I did wind up reading about 112 pages in Five Dark Fates by Kendra Blake. This is the last book in the Three Dark Crown series. Really liking this. I'm liking the setup of this book. I'm liking how the dynamics of the characters are really, really changing. That's something that I was very, very captivated by in the last couple of books. I've always loved Jules and Arsino's relationship so much, and that's really being highlighted in this book. But I do like the twin dynamics, and I think that they're becoming super interesting. There's a lot of stuff in the aftermath of the last book that is kind of like coming to resurgence, which I'm really, really liking. I am hoping to read another 50 pages before I stop work for the day. I do have to work until like 3 today. But yeah, that's my plan. I also did finally get confirmation that I can go get my hair cut next week. My hair is so long, and I wanted to dye my tips, so I'm excited I get to possibly do that next week. So I'm gonna go start my next class, read for a little bit, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, I'm back. I just want to do a quick check-in before I go play Animal Crossing. I did go for a bike ride. I did it. I did get up to like about 50% in Crest, which I'm really liking. That's probably my favorite book in that series. I love Thorn and Crest, and I love all the background stuff in that book. But I did also read a little bit more of Five Dark Fates. I'm now on page 138. This is a very, very fast-paced read. I'm really liking it. I'm liking the characters. There's so many secrets going on that like I just do not want to put this book down. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play like 40 minutes of Animal Crossing, and then I'm just going to kind of dive in, see how far I can get. I've been putting off this read for a while because I don't want the story to end because I really do like these characters. I think the last book kind of changed the game, and I'm really curious how it's going to end because it could end in like two very, very different ways, and I'm just curious. Like, I'm all for characters working together. That's something that I always I like that. I like that part in the series, but there's also elements that are kind of working against that. So yeah, I'm gonna go play a little bit of Animal Crossing. I've been staring at like a computer screen all day because I've been teaching. I only have like 13 days left, which is actually really, it's very, very bittersweet. I'll be honest. I'm happy that like I can have a break of my eyes and like not looking at a computer, and I miss my kids, so I'll miss like interacting with them every day. And I'm hopeful in September it could be somewhat back to normal, but I don't know. But I'm gonna go play a little bit more Animal Crossing, and I'll check in with you guys after I read a little bit more of Five Dark Fates. But I do like the simplicity of the set that we're in because there's two clear camps of setting that we're in. And in the last couple of books, there's been like a lot of different settings, so I do like that. So I'm gonna go play Animal Crossing, and I'll update you guys when I go back to reading. Bye, guys. Sorry, here I'm back. It's almost 6 o'clock. I did take another walk. I listened to Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix because I was in the middle of a reread. If you guys have not been following the news, J.K. Rowling is in all sorts of trouble, and I do not stand with her. Do not stand with her beliefs. Do not stand with anything that she's saying. I really am so disgusted by her behavior. Honestly, like, it just doesn't, like, her as a person, I, like, can't handle anymore. But Harry Potter has been in my life since I was in the 5th grade. I love that series. I think that for right now, I'm just going to kind of separate them. I'm not going to, like, support her directly outside of the stuff that I am in the middle of collecting. But it's hard. It's hard when your idols or the people you respect, like, let you down. But I will do a middle grade series recommendations video in a couple of weeks, just to kind of flesh out some other series that I really do like the creators as well, and I do really, really like the stories. But yeah, she's not doing the right thing, and that's really, really sad. But I did just come back from a bike ride, so I mean a walk, sorry, but I am gonna dive into Five Dark Fates by Kendra Blake. I did get up to page like 176. Really liking it, really, really enjoying the pacing, sorry. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it. I'm gonna keep reading, see how far I can get in it. I am craving some contemporary books. I think I'm gonna, when I'm done with this, I think I'm gonna go back to some contemporaries because it's been a bit. But I will update you guys when I get to like maybe 200. And let you guys know my thoughts. So far, really enjoying it, loving the dynamics of all the characters. And yeah, I'm really excited to keep reading. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here I'm back. I did actually read a lot more because I was watching a couple of videos, but I did wind up getting up to page 260 in Five Dark Fates. I'm really loving this book. Like, I really love the last book in this series because the characters had different dynamics than I was, like, expecting. But I'm loving this book. Like, I think that this is going to be a book series that I will reread again because I would want to read it, like, closer. I love the magic system in this book a lot. I love the focus on sister dynamics. And I just love the elements of found family in relationship to their own family. This book series also dealt a lot with like competition and cooperation, which I always try to teach my students. So I think that this was like a very, very strong book, but it's definitely a darker read. I do really, really like the magic system. I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender right now, so some of the magic systems kind of remind me of their powers like a little bit. But yeah. So I'm on page 260. This book has like almost 500 pages. I am reading it a lot quicker than the previous fantasy books I've been reading recently. So I should be able to get through a lot of this tomorrow. I still do have to teach tomorrow. So I will update you guys in the morning before I go to work. And I'm going to try to tackle quite a bit of this tomorrow during work. My dad just retired, so we're having like a little bit of a party for him tomorrow, which is super exciting. But yeah, so I'm gonna figure out what I want to watch. Don't know what that is quite yet, but I'm gonna go figure that out, and I'll let you guys in the morning know what I was watching. It's like torn between 5 different things. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here, just checking back in. It's 3 o'clock. It is pouring raining outside, but I did wind up actually reading a little bit during work, so I'm on page like 300 in Five Dark Fates by Kendra Blake. I have about 150 pages left. I really am liking it. This book is very, very fast paced. There's also been some things that have happened that I'm like unsure if it's really happened. Like, I get very unconnected to like one thing that happens in stories because I never know. Like, I've read so many books where like this is not the truth until you get to the end of the book. So I'm like holding off to see if it is true until the very end. But I really do like the character dynamics. I think it's super interesting. And yeah, I'm just going to keep reading. But I'm like, I really don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it because considering it's the last book in a series. But I do love that this book is so female-led. It has so many female-led characters. And the few male characters that we have really are so side character-y, but they also do really, really help enhance the story. I really, really do like the magic system, so I'm going to keep on reading, and I'll report back when I get up to page 300. Right now I'm on page 316. Lori here, just checking back in. I did wind up getting up to page 350 in Five Dark Fates. I am at the end of this book. The conclusion of this book is about to happen, and I'm so here for it. I'm really intrigued. I don't know how this, like, I don't know my prediction for how this book is going to end. Because one of my predictions is definitely wrong. But I'm really curious to see how this book ends. I'm really loving these characters. I just really, really love the characters in this book. This is definitely a book series that I think I will definitely reread closer together. I think I've said that before in this video, but I really like her writing style. I have a couple of more series by her that I'm definitely going to try to read. I have her Anna Dressed in Blood series, and I have her Anti-Goddess series, so I am going to try to read those soon. But really, really liking it. I think that it's definitely a fast-paced novel with a very, very complicated world, but one that I'm really, really enjoying. So I'll check back in with you guys when I get to like 400, which means that book is pretty much done, but or it will be coming to the conclusion. But really, I'm happy that I went up reading this, especially because it's a library book and I have to go back whenever my library opens. Bye, guys. Hey, Lori here. I'm back. It's about 5:30. I do want to doing a quick yoga class because my bike ride got cut short because of the rain. I did wind up getting up to page 404 in Five Dark Fates. I am very intrigued how this book is going to end. So I'm gonna go finish it and then I'll come back, check in with you guys, and wrap up this reading vlog. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. I'm actually here to wrap up this reading vlog. I did wind up finishing Five Dark Fates by Kendra Blake. I actually wound up really liking this book. I think what I'm gonna do is maybe in like a year, I think I'm gonna like binge listen to this series because I really did like it. I thought sorry. Thought the ending would, again, I always say this was a little bit rushed, and I always struggle with like battle scenes because I just get lost in the details, and it's hard. It was really hard in this series because I'm so invested in all the characters, so like I just want to know what happens, but I just get a little bit lost in the battle stuff. But I wound up really liking it. I wound up giving it like 4.5 stars as a review. I thought it was a solid conclusion. I also thought it was a really, really good series that focuses on females in a lot of different ways. It focuses on sister dynamics. It also focuses on women leadership. I really like the magic system. I thought it was definitely like a darker fantasy series, but one that I really, really wound up liking it. So I'm going to wrap up this reading vlog. During this reading vlog, I wound up reading 2 books, I think. I wound up reading Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim, which I liked and didn't love. I struggled with the pacing quite a bit in that read. And I also wound up finishing Five Dark Fates, which I wound up really, really liking. So I'm going to go start my next reading vlog for my weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. Hope you guys are staying safe and being well. Let me know in the comments what are some books that you have been reading recently, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.